Hey, folks, hope you're doing well today. Come across this on Newsweek. Bud Light sales chart reveals how much brand has suffered since this boycott. I mean, ever since this thing has began, their sales numbers have been absolutely brutal, and they've been ratioed to absolutely nowhere on social media, on Twitter. They can't post anything without just absolutely getting embarrassed. And Modelo is overtaking Bud Light as the number one beer. It's remarkable, but I mean, I don't see this really changing anytime soon. And even though it's leveled out a little bit, I think it probably is going to end up being even worse. So let's jump into this. I mean, this right here, Bud Light continues to be suffering a sustained decline in sales 2 months since the beer brand sparked backlash and calls for a boycott after sending a commemorative can to transgender influencer Dylan Mulvaney. In the week ending June 3rd, Bud Light sales revenue, the brand's dollar income was down 24.4% compared to the same week a year ago. Industry data by Nielsen IQ provided to Newsweek by Bump Williams Consulting shows a further decline compared to the week prior, but a marginal improvement on the 25.7% nadir in the week ending May 20th. Since the calls for a boycott began at the start of April, both Bud Light sales revenue and volume, the number of units of beer sold, saw steep declines in the first 5 weeks before stabilizing at a relatively sustained level of decline compared to the same period in 2022. Quote, the declines accelerated coming out of April 1st week and have settled in the mid-high 20% range ever since. Dave Williams, Vice President for Analytics and Insights at Bump Williams Consulting. He added they were fluctuating slightly, but we have yet to observe any notable signs of improvement back to the previous norms. And I mean, just look at this chart. Like, oh man, that is just brutal. I mean, absolutely has fallen off. And like you said, right here and here seems to be about the leveling point. That probably more like there and there. But I mean, even that bumped up, came back down. I mean, and they still won't apologize. They still won't say anything. They still pretend, oh, it's this and that. Like they don't want to own it. But hey, I mean, that's all these woke companies with this DEI crap that's getting forced on everybody. This diversity, equity, and inclusion, this Marxism BS that's being shoved down everyone's throats. Hey, I mean, this is what's going to happen. But people need to speak up, and I love seeing people doing this. Do it to Bud Light. Do it to Target. Do it to all these companies. Call of Duty. They just went woke. I mean, do it to all of these companies. Like, we don't really need you. And hopefully all the shareholders start suing these people like crazy who are running the show. So he also added that while Bud Light remained America's best-selling beer in the year to date in both revenue and volume, in the past 4 weeks, it had been dethroned in terms of sales revenue by Mexican rival Modelo Especial. And hey, I like Modelo. I appreciate Modelo. The Modelo Negro, that's a really good one. I mean, they make some really good beers. Anheuser Busch, Bud Light's parent company, was accused of alienating its traditional customer base with the partnership, while some in the LGBTQ plus number 1Z5 community have also slammed the company for not defending its ties with Mulvaney. Hey, you want to jump into the culture war, you want to wade into the mud, you're gonna get dirty no matter what you do. This was a stupid decision, and all of these fake virtue signaling companies who want to pretend, fake their pride for the alphabet mafia or whatever, the pool's a mile wide but an inch deep. At the moment they start really losing money, I mean, they're going to start changing, or at least they have to start changing something. So some brand strategists have also criticized the brewery over its response to the backlash, which they have characterized as being peppered with knee-jerk reactions that only extended the controversy. While the company's global CEO Michael Dukouris said on May 4th that the declining Bud Light sales represented about 1% of Anheuser-Busch's global volume, the latest figures suggest the backlash is having a lasting impact on the beer brand's U.S. revenue. Oh yeah, and I know guys in the industry, like they say it's brutal on the distribution side, on the marketing side. I mean, like this was the single dumbest thing. Like people who drink Bud Light are conservative people mostly with traditional values, and you just want to spit in the face of everybody. And that's what this wokeness is. It's just, the mockery of everyone else as if they're what's wrong. But this decrepit, whatever queer culture you want to push, oh, this is okay, even though, I mean, the only thing you have to celebrate is more or less about depravity. That's it. So in the week ending May 27th, Bud Light sales revenue declined 23.9% compared to the same week a year prior, while sales volume was 27.8% lower, Bump Williams shows. In the week ending June 3rd, volumes were down 28.2%. I mean, at one point it was almost down 30%. On June 3rd, one sales supervisor at a Bud Light distributor in Florida suggested to ABC News that the beer brand's decline in sales in the week leading up to Memorial Day 29th were as much as 60% at a time when beer sales usually soar 60%. Like on that weekend, they just did anything else. That is crazy. 2/3 of your business just said F you on that weekend. Like, that is staggering. Quote, this has really, really killed a lot of the guys who are commission based. They're looking for new jobs now. That's who is really hurting. The unnamed salesperson told the news outlet. Decuris acknowledged the impact the boycott was having on the company's supply chain in his May 4th investor call. From week to week, it appears the decline in sales revenue and volume reached their worst in the week ending May 20th before improving slightly at the end of the month and then dipping once again. In the 4 weeks to May 20th, Bud Light sales revenue was 24.3% lower than the same time last year. In the 4 weeks to June 3rd, that rolling 4-week average worsened slightly to 24.6%. Williams previously cautioned that elevated beer sales in the summer of 2022 could make the decline from month to month appear greater. I mean, I don't care what it shows. It's brutal. It's brutal, folks. And deservingly so. I love it. I love it. Your rice piss water? No, that's cool. I can drink anything else. I'm good. Yet in a sign that the worst for Anheuser Busch may be over, its other beer brands, the sales of which had also been impacted by the backlash against Bud Light, albeit to a lesser extent, have seen improvements recently. Budweiser saw an 8.5% year-on-year revenue decline in the week ending May 27th, but in the week ending June 3rd, this was now a 7.8% stop. Similarly, Busch Light has gone from 3 to 0.8%, and Natural Light 1.5 to 1%. Whew, thank God for the Natty Light. Gotta keep those sales up. Ugh. You want to talk about piss water? That is just awful stuff. Oh my God. Sales revenue for Stella Artois, another of the brewery's brands, had maintained a flat 3% decline across the 2 weeks in the U.S. market compared to a year ago. Williams noted that the majority of Anheuser Busch brands showed an improvement in the declining trends and wondered, perhaps this is the turning point. Newsweek approached Anheuser Busch via email for a comment on Wednesday. Beer brands in the Molson Coors stable continue to show a strong performance, with Coors Light seeing a 25.8% increase in revenue in the week ending June 3rd on the same week in 2022, and Miller Lite a 21.4% bump, despite the latter facing its own calls for a boycott over a supposedly woke advertising campaign. And that one flew completely under the radar. I never even knew about it until a couple weeks ago. But basically the commercial is some chick walking through and basically saying, oh yeah, women have been brewing beer forever, and it's high time we got our due respect. So let's stop trashing women and show some respect. Like, shut up. Just shut up. Like, stop with the talk. Stop with the just running your mouth. You're just embarrassing yourself. Like, you're involved. Yeah, okay, yes, you did lots of things, absolutely, but you weren't the driving force. Sorry. Like, not going along with that BS. This continues a trend of Bud Light's competitors apparently absorbing the demand from boycotters. The latest sales statistics also show Mexican imports were making gains in the U.S. beer market. Modelo Especial revenue soared 12.2% off the back of a 9.3% bump in volumes this week to June 3rd, while Corona Extra saw a more modest revenue increase of 2.7% from volumes that were in fact 2% down the same week a year prior. Modelo Especial appears to be increasing its sales growth each week as we get deeper into summer, Williams commented. This is combined with the introduction of Modelo, Oro, I don't even know what that is, but that sounds good, which indicates incremental sales being added to the Modelo brand family. No idea what the Oro is, but I got to check that out. This aligns with statistics provided to Newsweek by Constellation Brands, the beer's U.S. distributor, which showed it drew $36 million more in sales than Bud Light in the 4 weeks to May 28th. Bill Newlands, the company CEO, said the jump had happened quicker than we had anticipated. Washington Post analysis in April suggested Bud Light sales were dropping in part because of a notable rise in Mexican beer imports facilitated by an Obama-era antitrust action that limited Anheuser Busch's domination of the U.S. market. Well, folks, that's all we got for that story. But hey, I love it. I love this. I love giving the finger to the wokeness. I don't care. You're just a beer. We can drink anything. Folks, I encourage you. Hey, if you want to hurt these woke brands, if you want to absolutely give them the middle finger, if you want to really make a difference, folks, you got to start talking with your money. Pull your money out. Don't give them your money. Don't invest in these companies. Don't invest in these organizations. You don't need to. You can spend your money anywhere else. You don't need to give it to them. I don't. I got some stocks. I got some other things. I certainly don't have it in anything woke, nor do I want to, because remember, if you do that, you're only helping these companies. You're only helping them. Like, folks, you got to fight fire with fire. And, it sucks that we have to actually come to this point and do this. It's stupid when you could just own the mistake, show some respect, be responsible. But apparently in 2023, that isn't asking entirely too much. And it's sad to see that happen in this country, but this is where we're at. But folks, I hope that doesn't get you down. I hope your day is going great for you. I hope the birds are chirping and all that fun stuff outside. I'll try to bring you some more news, hopefully something a little bit more pep. But hey, I always love seeing the woke just stir in their own demise. It always brightens my day a little bit more. And folks, with that, hey, if you enjoy my content, please, I'd appreciate it. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. It helps the channel immensely. I appreciate it, folks. And I'll try to bring you something new as soon as I can. So, folks, with that said, take care of yourselves, take care of your families, and I will see you next time.